because your values, as I said, they can be innately created within you. You may have acquired or inherited them from family members, because we start with this as, from birth, all the inputs that we receive. Your subconscious mind has taken all that information in and still houses that. And there's a filing cabinet with every file of everything that you have felt before. So that's deep. So that's why when we have this discontent and we thinking about it with our conscious mind, there's that opportunity that, well, I know this shouldn't affect me or bother me, but I'm still having that angst. It's because you may not have identified that subconscious, that deep value thought pattern that's going on. And these values define who we are, as I said, not just at that conscious level, but at that subconscious level, and they influence all the choices that we make. Now, you can acquire these values early on, as I said, but you can also change them over time. As we get older, we have a choice. We have that ability to choose what it is, that value system, those different beliefs that we're going to hold. We don't have to accept what has been given to us by our parents, through school, from our religion or church, through social media. We don't have to accept those. Our conscious mind allows us to accept or reject that. And so when you lean into that, that's where we have that ability to know what's going on. So, for example, when I was younger, I raised in a Catholic environment, and I was always told it's important to go to church. When we first started out, when I was really young, it was you had to fear God. God was to be feared. And I really quickly learned that, yes, the God of my younger upbringing was something that needed anger management skills. And because there was the wrath of God. And that was, really didn't sit well with me. And over time, as I got older and went away to university, I realized as a young adult, even away from home at that point, that there's just something that didn't sit right with me with that. Because now it was like, all these things I was hearing was the unity of the churches, and God is love. And it's just like, but my younger self. So I held that belief for a long time that God was to be feared. Like, now God's to be loved. Like, I didn't know what to do with that. It just created a lot of angst and turmoil within. So I took a lot of time and leaned into what was important to me, how to figure out what this was. And this is where I found this system to help me figure out what my core values were. So instead of adopting what came from my parents, I got to choose for myself what I would love. As I'm choosing what's important to me, I can decide whether or not, and notice what's making me happy or unhappy. And this is where we have to honor our values. It's really important to know that if you're feeling that angst about something, that it's not aligning with your core value. And as I was feeling that angst, I realized that, yes, some of these core values, and that one particularly about church and religion and God, just didn't sit right for me. When I'm looking at and describing the values we can go over things for your life, for work, for your relationships and your family. The goal is that they may be slightly different depending on what it is that is important to you, but there should be some overall themes that are congruent, that flow through weave through the main areas of your life. Knowing that, as I said earlier, you can make that conscious choice to when you're knowing what your values are, is to decide whether or not you have this unresolved conflict in your life, this emotional tension, this turmoil that's going on. And when you feel that and know that disease that can come out in your body can appear as things as just that general discontent. You're just not feeling comfortable with what's going on, but it can seep in deeper into every cell of your being. Then it can affect your sleep. It can affect your diet and how you eat, as well as how, your body responds and reacts. Over time, this disconnect, this discord between your values and what is going on around you and how you deal with the different situations can present itself as autoimmune conditions, disorders, other things, even cancer. Yes, we know a lot of genetic and information about how cancer is fueled by an acidic environment